I'm a real passionate guy. When I care about someone, that shows, and my reaction is based on how I feel about you. This getaway really did something to me, and I felt emotional. And I know how stressful and awkward things seem for Morgan. So we sat down, seeing if we can get past this.
You have to decide, are you willing to put in the work? But
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Blackbird 91. We're giving you guys a live about Ready to Love episode 11, baby. Listen, I'm enjoying these lives. You know, I'm full of energy and vigor. You understand what I'm saying? I'm getting good sleep on me, baby. I'm getting good sleep on me, baby. I'm getting good sleep on me. Okay. Listen, we're talking to you guys obviously about Ready to Love, and this episode was another fungazi. Another mad one out here, okay? Another mad one out here. Okay, all right? We got another mad one out here, okay? So what we're going to do, okay, because you know this time this season I wanted to challenge, you know what I mean? We're gonna do it more next season and probably do it for Put a Ring in It as well. What I want to do, guys, okay, what I want to do is want to use this hashtag, okay? Let's do this. We're gonna do a little hashtag thing, okay? Because you see, I want to be able to we're gonna get these people to notice us. Why is the hashtag thing not working on my laptop? Like my laptop's just moving mad about it. But anyway, listen. Welcome to the channel, guys. Welcome to Little Blackbird 91. We are talking to you guys about this latest episode. What did you think about this episode? Type it in the chat. We want to know. We want to know. What did you guys think of this particular episode? Put it in the chat for me. I want to know, because this episode was kind of crazy. We had Morgan, and we had also our brother Lyndon and Tony, the triangle once more again. And we also had a situation with, Mercedes finally choosing someone. And I don't know if you guys noticed. Did any of you guys notice? I don't know if it's just me. Did you guys notice, right? But something interesting happened with Mercedes and our brother Mark Anthony. There was a part where the candle situation, he got vexed at the fact that Mercedes Mercedes did a candle situation, but then Jeffrey got a candle from what was his name? From Andre, okay? And he looked so disappointed. He looked so annoyed. And then when Mercedes gave over a candle, he looked more pissed off. And then at the end, when he gave her his candle, he was like, "Show me some love." And I was like, wait, what? I said, this is mad interesting. Okay. He looked like he was, so you really want Jeffrey. That's what you basically saying. You don't want Mercedes. If Mercedes dates him, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. Yeah. And then obviously we had Anthony and Cynthia, and I thought it was quite interesting because once again, Andre straddling the fence. We all know that Andre wants Jeffrey. Okay. We all know Andre wants Jeffrey. Okay. We all know Andre wants Jeffrey. Okay. So I need to stop playing in our faces. You know that Jeffrey is the one that you really, really want. Okay. You don't want Cynthia. Let's stop the cap and let's stop the games. Okay. All right. So I was, it's looking like something. Okay. I know that he decided to say that our good sister Cynthia was wifey material, but something deeper. I don't know. It's something about it. You know, he doesn't feel Cynthia in the same way that he feels Jeffrey. Okay. And he tried to pull a fast one there. And then obviously Blake then left. We knew he would leave because obviously Suan. I mean, what else was he going to go? Suan left, so there was nothing left for him to capitalize. And so Anthony kissing Cynthia, I don't know. I wasn't convinced by Anthony's performance with Cynthia, I'll be honest with you. I like Anthony. I like his energy, but I wasn't convinced. The brother really wanted Mercedes. That's the reality. The brother wanted Mercedes, and up until that point, he still had Mercedes number one. Let's be honest. Up until that point, he always had Mercedes as number one. Yeah? So for me, yeah, weren't buying it, weren't having it, weren't believing it. It is what it is. Okay, so we're going to get into the show. We're going to get deeper into the show, and we're going to have a conversation about Ready to Love. I'm going to get my panelists on as well. I know some more of you guys will be joining a little bit later on. I'm going to put the link in the chat too. If you do want to join the conversation, you need to come up. You need to come up. Okay, You need to come up. If you don't come up, you can't come up. Okay? You don't come up, you can't come up. Yeah, say it with me. You can't come up if you don't come up. All right? Tell your neighbor that too. Okay? Tell your neighbor they can't come up if they don't come up. Okay? All right, cool. All right, cool. So let me get my panelists on and we'll start the conversation as well. Yes, baby. Yeah. Okay, so all right, cool. I'm gonna get my panelists up in a second. Oh, guys, I want you to do me a favor. If you guys use Twitter, it'd be brilliant if you do as well. Let's use the hashtag. I don't know, my hashtag button don't work, so you're gonna have to just believe what I'm saying. So we can just get some more traction, not to get more necessarily more viewers, but to also get the attention of RTL, because we need to change some shit. Okay, I can't keep seeing them every season this way, and they don't really listen to nobody. So maybe if we start getting the whole world to kind of focus on RTL, to be like, hey guys, like we need a change, you know, then maybe we won't see what's happening here. You know what I'm saying? So because it's jarring to see it every season. I just feel like they could do so much more, but it feels like they always, you know, it feels like we're getting worse and worse. It's getting worse and worse. Okay, all right, cool. All right, so listen, I'm gonna put a hashtag there. The hashtag is RTLLBB91. Tweet. Tell us your thoughts on Ready to Love. Let people know that we're on live. I'll put out a tweet as well to let them know we're live as well. But we're going to get our conversation flowing. So the hashtag, use it on Twitter. Put your conversation there. Let people know that we're alive right now and your thoughts. Okay. All right. Yeah, baby. All right. Let's get the show going. Oh, I can't spell. I put Twitter instead of Twitter. All right. Let's go. I've got Seaway and our brother JR in the back with a fresh fade. Okay. Okay, cool. So fantastic. Let me get them on and on and on and on. Yeah, yes. All right, cool. So I love that. Jay's also here as well. Love to see that. Great, and I'm sure more people will be coming as they go. All right, so first person we want to talk about is let's start strong. Let's start strong. I don't waste my time. I want to go straight into it. Morgan Triangle with the likes of Lyndon and Tony. Listen, and by the way, we are not going to go back. So if you come later on in the panel, guys, we are not going to scoot back. You're not going to get. You have to have 1 minute say. We ain't doing that. Okay, you here or you're not. Okay. All right, cool. See, why are you laughing like that? Oh, you look cute. Okay, you and Jay be popping up just looking cute today. Okay, no, all right.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, baby. Anyways, tell us, Morgan Triangle with Lyndon and Tony. What are you telling me?
I do not have any earrings on. I need to go fix that. Go ahead, Jay. I need to get some earrings. Go ahead.
Not you, Rico. What the heck? What
no,
the
I
heck?
say I got no earrings on. She vacated her place. Go for it, Jay.
Morgan and Tony. Lust. That's all I can say really on them too. It's the fact that Morgan knows Tony is not good for her, yet she can't tear herself away from it, and vice versa. Neither one of them is good for the other person, because obviously, people I know they was clowning me earlier when I was saying Tony wants peace, but he keeps choosing the problem because he is a problem. He keeps mentioning Marcia, which would be peace in his opinion, but he likes the chaos. He likes the jealous attention. He likes that energy it brings. And he still, unfortunately, is in his toxic phase. And Morgan has never, I don't think she's actually experienced anything other. And so when we start seeing her crying and it seems like it's over Lyndon, like Kayla last year, I don't think it's over Lyndon. It's over the realization I'm doing the same thing and I'm getting the same results. What am I doing wrong? I am the problem. And sometimes we have those cries like, damn, I am actually the problem. Because and I'm not saying Lyndon is the right person for her, but he is a better choice out of the two going forward, as far as, I don't know, not my light going out, but as far as just, I don't know. I mean, he's not the better choice. I can't even say he's a better choice for her, but he just presents better. He's more calm. He's more what she needs moving forward with the things that she likes about Tony. She needs a man that's like the combination of that, like the security, the structure that she needs, the soundness, the leadership that she sees in Tony. She needs that combined with the calm nature of Lyndon, the loving mannerism of Lyndon, somebody that shows her something different and better than what she's used to. And so I'll pray that for that sis, because she needs it. Both her and Tony need therapy, though, in my opinion.
Go for CA.
Yeah, honestly, Coach, I was listening to you briefly a little earlier, and I think you kind of touched on a little bit of what I was gonna say. I was kind of happy you had that take. I didn't know if I was gonna be standing alone in this, but I feel like she was crying for a couple of reasons. One, because Lyndon was stressing her out low key. Like, Lyndon has been kind of like manipulating and playing little puppy games behind the scenes. And I think she was feeling stressed out because Lyndon's manipulating her, and then Tony's being aggressive and crazy. And she's kind of like trying to figure out what to do. And so she had to pick, right? That's what makes the house so complicated. So she picked Tony, and then, Lyndon is kind of still on the side, like, you did me bogus. You didn't pay attention to my feelings, blah, 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 blah. So I think that's why she was crying. And then I also think she was crying because the better of the two bad choices is someone that she knows is 9 times out of 10 is not going to work out. But the other choice is appearing like a nice guy, but she also knows that isn't going to work out. So really, she's looking like, hey, I done did this whole process. I'm between two men that aren't going to work out. So let me just go with the one that at least gives me the swag, gives me the feels, give me something I can feel, because Lyndon is just, not it. I think they were stressing her out, though. And she done stressed herself out too, because she done she got herself in this situation. But Lyndon is not innocent, and Lyndon is not for her either. I mean, we can get into that later, but Lyndon is not a good option. She has no good options. So
Thank you, Seaway. I think that's a better way to
Go for it,
say it.
yeah.
No good options. That's what she's crying about. Tommy has failed her. Just
It's in a rock and a hard place, they say. JR, go for it.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. A lot happened in the episode, specifically with Morgan, Tony, Lyndon. I'm so surprised that Tony is the one that she went with. I thought he was done after last week. I can't be honest with you. But based on their interactions, if they still feel like there's something there worth pursuing, despite the many back and forths and the aggressive nature that Tony has when he loses his cool, and the constant jabbing that she seems to do when she's talking about him, whether it's with the group when he's not there, or even when she's talking to him. Yeah, if that's what they're gonna go with, I'm surprised, but they know better than we do. Lyndon, I agree. There is manipulation there, because he seems to be whispering in her ears. Well, not even whispering, he's telling her straight up. Everything he spoke about was actually Tony, pretty much, more than he spoke about himself. But he did the right thing, though, by at least admitting that he can't give her what she's looking for at this stage. I think he's, maybe 6 years younger or so into the nightlife, like she said. So I think Tony's redeeming quality could be what he can offer her in terms of the God-fearing man, the protector, provider stuff that she's looking for. But it's going to be rocky. So as long as they know what they're signing up for, can't be mad at it.
Yeah, listen, I think the situation is You know, it's a painful one for Morgan. Let's discuss Morgan then, her decision then. She's between a rock and a hard place. You know, two guys who caused well, she ended up crying over both of them. And see where you kind of mentioned it a little bit. Maybe you can go a little bit deeper into it, and touch it, go away with it. But yeah, she seems to have some hardcore emotions, but it seemed to be not necessarily about Lyndon, or we could say it could be about Lyndon. I don't know. How do you perceive that in a more deeper way? If you want to go,
I think Lyndon represents to her a nice guy, someone who is more carefree, less aggressive, less controlling of her time, probably more similar to the guy that she put Nair on his hair, like someone that she could just kind of have more of a dominant role with. But Lyndon also represents someone that is also, I think, going to trigger her in many ways, like the Nair guy. Like, he'll be nice, but he's still going to go out and do what he wants to do. He's going to be in the club. He represents someone who may not be serious. And I'm pretty sure she's at this point where she's like, look, my time is limited. I can't spend any more time with men who aren't on the same page that I'm on. Like, that is literally, you know, she didn't come to this process to go backwards to find someone who's literally going to say, hey, no, I need 3 to 4 years. And I think what makes that really weird and messed up with Lyndon, if Lyndon could tell her to her face that he can't give her what she wants, then what do we do all this for? Why were you playing the pool game for her heart? Why are you still sticking around, antagonizing Tony? It's like, if you already knew you're not on the page that she's on, she's very transparent. You know, a lot of people can have an issue with her, but she tells you what she wants. She's very clear about that. So I think that's over there. And then as far as Tony is emotionally unavailable. He handles problems horrendously. Even the way he came and dealt with her when she was crying, his insecurities are alarming. You know, like Tony needs one-on-one separate therapy on his own, not with Morgan. But what Tony represents is a man's man, you know, a man that literally is ready to be a man, ready to have a family with her, ready to take care of her, at least in her mind, right? And so, honestly, I know JR said, is he surprised? It's really a no-brainer. Are you going to go with a man who's young, not serious, got a roommate in the club, already telling you to your face that he can't give you what you want? Or are you going to go with a man who got red flags, but at least he's going to, you know, say, look, I'm going to try? You're going to go with the man who says he's going to try. You know what I mean? Like, that's the obvious choice. Are they going to crash and burn? Yes, because they have parallel issues that are separate and apart from each other that I don't see blending together, right? But, you know, to me, Tony is the obvious choice. On top of the fact that he's swaggy, he got his little machismo that also is insecurity. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I that's kind of how I view it.
JR, what do you think Morgan's frustration is and her pain is? What do you think that is?
I think the pain, there's a few things. I think she's confused in her feelings. She has probably, like she says, that Lyndon is her safe space. So that's very valuable as a commodity in him. They seem to get along very well. I don't recall them ever having any crosswords or beefing, despite, you know, what was going on with Tony. So I think there's that confusion there, because Tony is someone that she's been vulnerable with as well, shared a lot of time with. They've been quite affectionate, kissed and all that stuff many times, like Tony reminded us last week. So I just think she was torn between going with the safe bet, which was Lyndon, or going down the rocky road with Tony. You know, I've said it before. I think love can make people do stupid things or silly things or things that they wouldn't ordinarily do. And if she's chosen Tony, then that may fall into that category. But, you know, if the love is there and the feelings are there, then I'm sure they can still have a relationship. How rocky or turbulent it's going to be. If this is a precursor and this is on camera, then the home life that they're going to have, I think he's got 2 children. So do you want to bring that level of turbulence around the children? It's going to be even harder to deal with on her side, I think, because she's going to have to get used to not just him, but the children that he comes with. And yeah, so I think she was genuinely torn. But you know, she also wanted the 2 guys to fight for her, and I thought Lyndon won. But yeah, I can only hope that it goes well for them.
I love that point. I mean, so sorry, seriously, with obviously the Morgan, Lyndon, and Tony situation. Tony, I wonder how your thoughts were in terms of the scene where she was crying and then Tony came in a room, and that turned into something as well, because that seemed to be misconception. I'll play a little clip here. These
Really?
2 as well.
Really what, Tony?
What's going on?
I just had to go through something that was really hard for me.
I understand that. Okay.
Do you want to come here and talk about it, or you just gonna stand
No,
and keep saying, really?
What do you mean? I'm just asking you, what's going on?
I'm okay.
Oh, sorry, guys. What's your thoughts about Seaway shaking her head? What's your thoughts on this, Seaway? What you thinking? This argument here.
I mean, that's a man that completely is just out of touch with emotional regulation and how to empathize and sympathize with another human. His ego was so large, and he was so upset because Mark Anthony even hinted at the idea that she was in the room crying over another man, and instead of being like empathetic, it was just all ego. And I always think it's like a red flag when a person can see another person crying, you like genuinely and literally have no type of emotion, or have a strange emotion like anger, or you know, it was weird but typical. Weird but typical with him. And to me, that was the scariest thing he has done yet. Is come in the room and see her crying and have that type of response. She's not going to get any of the emotional support she wants out of him. And so he goes to anger management and tries to figure out why he is so insecure. And at his big age, I don't feel like that's going to happen anytime soon. And she is not the right person for someone who has anger issues and is very insecure. She's the complete wrong person, because she's going to trigger him every time. She's a very pretty girl. Honestly, she gets prettier by the episode, in my opinion. She's going to get a lot of attention. And if that's the way he acts about Lyndon, about somebody who low-key is not even a real threat, like, let's be for real. He's not even a real threat. What happens when Morgan's out in the street looking like she looks, and a man with money who's taller than Tony, got more money than Tony, comes around trying to get at Morgan? How he gonna act then? Somebody bigger, badder with more money comes around and try to talk to her? He's gonna be out of control. He's gonna be out of control. That was unsettling for me. And I think it was unsettling for Cynthia too. You can see Cynthia's response. She's just like, this ain't good. This is not good. So.
Yeah, how did you see it? Do you have a different point of view? Do you agree? Like, how did you see that particular scene with Morgan and Tony?
Yeah, I definitely think he didn't show empathy, because he didn't really want to get involved. He didn't go in the room, sit down, put his arm around her, ask her what was wrong. So that to me said he didn't really care about what she was upset about, to be honest. It may be to do with the fact that he was informed that she might have been crying over Lyndon. That's why but at the end of the day, if you really care about someone and, you know, like you see them in that state, you would naturally want to console them or even be the reason to snap them out of that funk, you know, make them smile again. But I also think he knew he wasn't in her good books. Like, this retreat didn't go well for that connection at all. In fact, that connection between Tony and Morgan probably suffered the most in the retreat out of all of the couples. So yeah, he just I don't think he cared at that moment. He did the customary thing, which was just to open the door, check on her, see if she was okay. But by the way she responded, you know, he wasn't interested in getting to the bottom of it. And I think that was quite evident.
It's y'all not knowing that Tony is short for me. Y'all didn't peep that Tony was short? Coach, like, what does that have to do with it? It has everything to do with it.
Well, there's taller guys there. There's Andre there. There's Blake. There's a few tall guys there. Listen, there was a selection of 10 guys. There was more than Lyndon and Tony there. And she connected with those guys for a reason, but she knows that Tony's short. She's known the whole time. So I don't think height is anything to do with it, because it doesn't change a person's character. I think there's, you know, if her and Tony have this connection, then, you know, we just have to watch how it pans out, I guess. And there will be fireworks, but I'm sure they know by now that there will be fireworks.
JR, I actually think it does affect your character from time to time, even to the point where the fact that on one of those dates, Tony had the audacity to say, in this short man something. He called one of the people, I don't know if it was an ex or a friend or who it was, he went on a date. The comment, y'all will remind me, but he had the nerve to call somebody short. So he's very much so aware of height, and it doesn't affect every short man. I'm not going to say it does, but there are people who walk around with some form of a macho complex. And I definitely feel like he's one of those people. It goes into whatever type of vibe he has, you know, but it's not every man. I'm not saying it's every man that's short. It's definitely not.
But then, I mean, I didn't see him be particularly competitive with any of the taller guys. I didn't see him throwing any shade. I didn't see him, you know. But like I said, if he is short, if he's a Kevin Hart, I'm sure there's other qualities that draw Morgan to him besides the height thing.
I mean, listen, I would say in that argument between Morgan and Tony, you know, he was obviously clearly not trying to necessarily engage. And I think there's a few things kind of swirling at that moment. I don't think he's very good. I don't think he's very good with emotions per se. But I think what was interesting was the dialogue when he asked her, "You okay?" She said, "Yeah," you know, and then he said, obviously, you know, "What's up?" And she's like, "What do you want to talk about it?" And I was like, "No, Morgan, you want to talk about it. So just tell him that you want him to talk." Because like trying to flip it so that he's the one that wanted to talk. He saw you and he ain't trying to talk to you. So just be honest. You want to talk. Do you get what I'm saying? If you want to talk, then by all means, not a problem at all. Tell him, be vulnerable and say, "Hey, look, right now, come over and talk." Now, someone can also say, he saw her crying. Why ain't he do anything? You're right. Why didn't he do anything? This is also a him problem as well. So both of them can be an issue here. But this is what I'm saying about, this kind of situation where like-minded people who don't like being vulnerable are going to find each other, because in that moment she was crying, she was sad, and what she really wanted to say was, "Tony, I would like for you to come in and I would love to have a conversation. You know, there's some things that are going on. Oh, did you want to talk? Baby, you know you wanted to talk too. Just call him in. and be vulnerable and say, hey, I wanted to talk. And I think that could have stopped it, because then he got an attitude because she got a little bit of an attitude. And then he's like, then he took it even further, but then getting angry, going to Andre, and then Andre having to try and calm him down. But he's already vexed because he feels, because remember, he's already got an assumption. His assumption is she is crying over Lyndon. So that's the only part of grace I gave Tony, that I think from his perspective, he's looking at the situation like, she's been in there crying for 2 hours over a man that she said she don't really care about, that she wants me. You must be out your blinding mind. You must be out your mind. Yeah, is soaking the tears of the 1,000 thread linen on that bed, soaking it for a man that's not even blowing your back out. You're moving mad. You're moving mad. But I'm here doing all I'm doing, and you going crying into this whole bed? Yeah. I'm angry. I'm angry. So that's the only grace I would give him. But again, we've seen consistent behavior from Tony where he don't do too well with emotional situations. He's really not that good, But yeah, it might not have been 2 hours. It probably wasn't with Tony, but I can understand that. I don't want to see you crying about the next man that you say you don't really care about. See, what are you laughing for, Siwe? Why are you laughing, Siwe?
It's 1,000 tears of Lyndon. I mean, that is freaking hilarious. It's hilarious, and I understand why Tony was frustrated. And you're 100% right. When Morgan was like, "Well, do you want to talk about something?" I'm like, "Okay, here we go with the games." Both of you guys are running in circles with the games, and it's not gonna work. The conversation is not gonna be had. But Mark Anthony, I don't know why he felt the need to gas that man up, because he's so freaking messy. I don't know. Maybe he was being messy, or maybe he was being concerned. Okay, I'll leave the concern out there, but it's giving messy, because he knows the type of person Tony is. All he had to say was, "Hey, I think there's something going on with Morgan. You should go check on her." That's all he had to say, and that's clearly not what he said, because Tony went in there on 10. He went in there on 10, so that's why you gotta leave these toxic dudes alone. They will put a spell on you. You got a spell on her right now.
You ain't telling no lies, baby. You ain't telling no lies.
She's locked in.
She locked in indeed. 1,000 tears of Lyndon. JR, talk to me. Do you have any thoughts on that? You don't have to. You don't want to, but yeah, I don't have any more thoughts on that. I saw you agree your head a little bit, so I was wondering what you were nodding your head to. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of what Siwe and the points you made as well. But like I said, his attitude has been on display for a couple of weeks now, and it's gotten progressively worse. So, like I said, I'm just surprised that she still chose him rather than choosing herself, rather than choosing Lyndon. She's still choosing to ride it out with him. It's going to be constant back and forth from what we see. This is still very early in them getting to know each other. And this amount of, tussling, yeah, I don't know what they expect to happen in the future. Like, I don't know. Can't imagine.
Shaif Brandy, welcome to the panel. We're talking about, obviously, Morgan, Tony, Lyndon. And we're talking about the scene where he came into the room and didn't really give her much attention. What was your thoughts?
Oh, first of all, thank you guys for having me on. I always watch your panels all the time. So I think this is my second time getting on. So I'm happy to see y'all and be here. Tony was just killing me this whole episode. He was bringing up Marcia's name 1,000 times, thinking she coming through, and she's not. If he really wanted to win Morgan over, what he should have done is go in the room and console her and be that nurturer that she calls him. But of course, he's not capable of doing that, so we can't expect him to do that. But if he's really so much a nurturer and protector, when she's having an emotional breakdown, even though it is over Lyndon, he still could have went over there and be like, Cynthia, I got this. I'm going to, talk to her and help her feel better. But of course, he don't have that in him.
You ain't telling no lies. You ain't telling no lies. let's talk about the Marcia then. Thank you, Brandy. Let's talk about Marcia then, because he did make a comment about the Marcia thing. That was wild to me. It was giving wildness all over the gaff when he said it. I did understand that, you know what, they have done some crazy things, but the fact that he thought it could be Marcia, that's what told me, bro, anybody else, but you had to say Marcia. You know, why couldn't it be somebody else? But you said Marcia, which means you believe you had a real good connection with Marcia for them to want to bring her back. But yes, anyway, go for it.
I think Marcia is like his Lyndon. Like it's like Mercedes, these M's, Morgan's Lyndon. Because Marcia, pretty girl, right? But she ain't giving what Morgan is giving. She's very chill. And I'm not saying chill is bad. Chill is great for people who want a chill life. You know what I mean? But clearly, he said time and time again, he's never waffled or wavered on this situation. He's always said, it's Morgan for me. Morgan's my number one. Morgan. Yeah, he kept Marcia around, but like, did anyone ever believe that he really was going to choose Marcia over Morgan? Not once. Not one person believed that, not once. So to me, it's like, why are you even bringing her name up? Because you want a cushion? Because you feel uncomfortable now? You feel uncomfortable that you're in a house and you got to fight with Lyndon, who you don't even believe is on your level? So you're hoping that Marcia comes to the door to give you a buffer? He wants to use her name in her for a buffer, you know, because the same way Morgan likes what the energy he gives, he likes the energy that Morgan gives. Marcia is giving two just even killed across the board. He don't want that. If I were Marcia, I'd be like, stop bringing my name up. Because when you had the opportunity to fight for me, you chose Morgan. You know what I mean? So that's what I think.
Yeah, do you have any extra thoughts on that, on the Marcia situation? Him talking about Marcia?
Yeah, I thought that was wild as well. Like, and I don't know why he's expecting a curveball. Listen, Marcia's long gone. And, you know, I agree. Maybe she was his Lyndon. Someone who he had a connection with, but probably didn't see it going as well, lifetime goals wise, as it could potentially be with Morgan. I don't know. But yeah, like for him to just throw her name out at that particular point, knowing that she went home, what, 2 episodes ago? Yeah, like 2 weeks ago. So don't understand the thinking there. And if Marcia did come through the door, what would have happened? It would have just been more drama, more jealousy, more possessiveness, more territorial behavior. So, you know, it's not going to save him. Fact of the matter is, like we said, he could have consoled Morgan at that point. As we saw later on, they did manage to sit down, talk it out, kissed, and made up. But I think that's going to be, you know, a repeated behavior between them. Going to be blow-ups, you know, for a few days, and then they'll kiss and make up, and it will just be a continuous cycle. Marcia, I don't think that would have been the type of relationship necessarily that he would have had with her, but she's not here now, so it doesn't matter.
Brandy, tell us your thoughts on the Marcia situation, Marcia Gate.
Yeah, I agree with what both of you, what everyone already said, and like I think maybe also, like you guys said, like Marcia could be a safe space, like Lyndon is a safe space. Like, you know, Marcia is not crazy like Morgan, so common sense would say pick Marcia. However, I also think maybe he wanted Marcia there as a little like leverage, like because Morgan has Lyndon as another option, so maybe he wanted his second option there too, so he can, you know, continue to play the game, because everybody's here to play the game in the house. That's what they're here for.
Yeah, definitely hear you on that. I think with more. Oh, go for it, Joe. Go for it. You want to say?
No, I was just going to add, like, when he did have Marcia there, like, Morgan was telling him to cut off that connection. Like she wasn't feeling him dividing his attention with somebody else. So it would have just added more fuel to the fire if she was still there at this point. And I think the retreat, with them all being around each other, watching each other's interactions with the other connections they have, yeah, it would have been a problem.
I hear that 100%. Any last thoughts on Morgan triangle with Lyndon and Tony? Any last thoughts? Anything you haven't thought of that you've come to your mind? No. All right, coolly. We'll shift it on. All right, audience, do me a massive favor. Make sure you guys are liking, you're sharing, you're subscribing. Click on that like button, people. Please let the algorithm know that we are killing it as always. Okay, click on that like button, baby. All right, let them know that you feeling this particular show. We're gonna shift it now away from Morgan and Lyndon and Tony. We're gonna talk a little bit more about another particular I guess trio or triangle that was happening. It was the Andre, is the Cynthia, is the Jeffrey, baby. Okay, it's the Jeffrey for me. And I put her name as Jeffrey instead of Jeffrey. But you know, their situation, it was a candlelight situation going on. Andre was saying all the bars to try and keep Cynthia alongside the check, and then really kind of, I guess, laying sweet nothings to Jeffrey to keep her on side too. I think he really does like Jeffrey instead. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think Cynthia's a good close too, but it's definitely always going to be Jeffrey for him. And then obviously, also at the same time, Cynthia also kind of, you know, having her situation with Anthony, which was also quite interesting as well. So let's discuss it first from the Cynthia, Jeffrey, and Andre situation. Andre has choice of two women. What was your thoughts around their connection on this particular episode and what was happening in that regards? Who would like to take us on first? Yes, Seaway, go for your hand moved. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just going to talk first because I barely remember. All I can really remember is Jeffrey talking about that biblical husband thing. And I literally screamed. I hollered. I have no idea what she's talking about. There's only two things at play here, and I'm going to say it again. Either Andre has a hell of a lot of money, status, something that Jeffrey sees that she's just telling him anything, just anything, or sis has the worst judgment known to man, or both, honestly, or it could be both, okay? Because I just don't understand what about Andre gave biblical husband, and then he keeps saying she's wife material. What is he seeing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm confused. Either producers are just not showing us everything. I just, like, we keep throwing around this biblical thing, like putting God in stuff that he ain't got nothing to do with. I'm just trying to figure out what about Andre gives biblical husband. You know, I am glad that they're locking in and they're exchanging candles or whatnot. But it also seemed that Jeffrey was still mad that Mark Anthony didn't give her a candle, right? I don't think he did. I don't know if he got one from her. And she looked mad that Cynthia gave Andre a candle. So she doesn't really seem very super secure in her space with Andre. I'm not sure why, though, because Andre clearly likes her the most. But yeah, Coach, I just don't know what they're seeing. It's confusing.
I hear you on that. JR, what are you seeing?
Yeah, I did notice that when Cynthia gave Andre the candle, Jeffrey felt a way about that. I also noticed the confessional where she seemed to be quite competitive still, mentioning the other two connections that both of her connections have, the other connections that both of her connections have. I also noticed that Mark Anthony didn't give her a candle. She didn't give Mark Anthony one. But with that particular trio, I think this is exactly what they need. I think this inflating of the ego that they do with each other, I think that's going to be a very important factor in why they're together. Like, it's kind of like speaking life into your partner in a way. Like, he calls her wife material and all the rest of it, and that's how she wants to be viewed. That's how she wants to be perceived for her own personality, her own ego. And in return, I think he likes to feel like, you know, he's got this presence or this aura around him of a strong man, and the person that can come into her life and make her happy. So yeah, if they like it, then at least they're not cussing each other out and fighting. And that's what we're seeing from the couple we just spoke about. So it might work.
Brandy, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I thought it was funny when Jeffrey gave Andre his candle, was saying all that biblical husband stuff. And then Mark Anthony looked so like irritated, like he couldn't be bothered by the whole thing. And then I don't think he gave her a candle, right? If I'm not mistaken. And then didn't Andre give Cynthia her candle first and then call Jeffrey his second choice? Which I thought that was crazy as well, because he clearly likes Jeffrey more than Cynthia. But I think he knows. Okay, so I think Andre is a BSer and Jeffrey is a BSer. That's why they are like, oh my God, they're a wife. Oh my God, they're a biblical husband. So BS sees BS. Like, people joke around like, oh, that's my future husband. Oh, that's wifey right there. But like, you know, we just joking. But they are like serious, like biblical. Like, you know, how you know he a biblical husband? Like, where is that in the Bible? Like, where did you get that from? So for me, it's like they just both BS. So he knows he can't BS Cynthia like that because she's not that a BSer like that. So he'd rather go with somebody he could BS with all day long.
Listen, personally, you know, also I think Anthony was a little bit pressed as well, just a little bit. He felt a little bit of a twinge when Cynthia gave over the candle with a little bit of the explanation, you know. But Andre is very clever, and I'll tell you why he's very clever. His little speech, he said, "It's green because you know you allow your heart to be open to me." Basically, what he was saying was, Cynthia, you don't open your heart to me, okay? But Jeffrey has. This is why she here. This is why you there, okay? So, you know, I definitely feel like that he made a clear demarcation between the two ladies with his candlelight stuff. So even though they gave each other candles, I definitely feel like he made a demarcation as well. So, you know, it was interesting to see that. But I think, you know, listen, I think that Jeffrey sees Andre as something that, you know, maybe her next stepping stone, you know, with all due respect, the next stepping stone could be, you know, and maybe she's serious. Maybe she definitely likes him. My question is, and, you know, I'm not going to be rude about it, but I have to be honest about it. It's like, Andre, is this for the show? I'm just saying, is this for the show, sir? Okay, all right. This is you saying you were in Forbes, you're all of this stuff, You're going on like you can get any kind of girl you can get. I'm just saying, is it gonna be is that the girl that you was gonna go for? I'm just wondering, because this girl already showed her she's got some tendencies, bro. So I don't know. Go to see way.
Yeah, this is gonna ruffle a lot of people's feathers, but I think that's why so many women are mad at Jeffrey. There are a lot of people who are mad at Jeffrey because Jeffrey's annoying. She's an apparent liar. She's manipulative, agitating, right? All that. But I also think that a lot of women are mad at Jeffrey because a lot of women feel like, hey, I do things the right way. I don't got 3 kids. I'm not toxic. I'm not this. I should get the good guy. Why is Jeffrey getting the all of this, right? And the fact of the matter is, people shouldn't be mad at Jeffrey. Be mad at these dumb behind men who want her. I fully believe that Andre could be legit after her for real. And that's not on Jeffrey. That's on these dudes hell no, I'm not saying Andre is a good guy. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's a guy that a lot of people may want if he does have money, if he is on the Forbes, if he is driving a Ferrari, whatever the crap they said he's driving, right? Definitely not saying he's a good guy. I'm saying he's a guy that people may want. And people are trying to figure out why Jeffrey is getting the attention from these men. Well, a lot of men like very shallow things. A lot of men don't think 3 steps, 4 steps ahead. You may be asking yourself, why does a man with no kids want someone with 3 kids? Because maybe if she got that Delilah spirit, maybe she's getting to him. Maybe he's just not that strong. All I'm saying is a lot of the energy that Jeffrey is getting, you may not want to hate the player, hate the game, because the fact of the matter is there's a lot of women like Jeffrey that are able to get these men that you may think they shouldn't get, and they still get them. Because men don't be actually wanting what they say they want. So, but people don't want to talk about that. People want to talk about that. They need to talk about the men who are capping. Now, JR may actually not want Jeffrey. I believe that in my soul, okay? I believe that. I believe that in my soul, right? But there's a lot of men who talk about, I don't want nobody like Morgan. She's toxic. She toxic. Be the first one lining up to drink her bathwater. Don't believe these men. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
JR, is this true? Are we lying not to drink somebody's bath water? It certainly isn't me now. But I definitely will play a little bit of toxicity. I won't lie to you. But do you agree with her sentiments about, Andre, the man, that us men don't know what we want, so we out here playing in them streets and the traffic? Talk to me, JR.
I'm gonna say that there may be some men like Andre, but if he finds her attractive, then he sees things that maybe some of us don't. He spent a lot of time with her in close quarters. I think there are some women who may identify with Jeffrey and have that same affect, that same way of snaring their guy. But I also think there are many who should look at some of the problematic behaviors and say, you know what, that shouldn't be the way forward. And I do think that if a guy like Andre does choose to be with Jeffrey, you have to remember as well, she isn't presenting herself the same way to Andre as she has with some of the other cast members. She's kissed him a lot more. They've had they spent more time together. She's been round to his house. They've been in the hot tub together. The other fleeting connections that were there, like DeMario and some of the other dudes, eventually they saw a side of her or saw things that they didn't want to deal with, and she also saw things that she may not have wanted to deal with either. Andre's not stupid. He knows that she's got children. He knows the back and forth she's had throughout the early parts with Blake and Suan. He knows she's had other connections and they've fallen by the wayside now. He's seen all of this and he still is invested in her and wants to make it work. So yeah, maybe there are some guys like Andre out there, but I'm not one of them. And I ain't drinking nobody's bath water because that's disgusting.
Ain't no girl fine enough that I'm going to be drinking their bath water. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm toxic, but there's a level to my toxicity, okay? So nobody's bath water is getting drunk out here. But I still take your point on board and say that, yes, definitely Jeffrey's doing something right, because clearly these men are feeling some way. She obviously has feminine wiles, and she knows the art, Okay, so she knows how to get these men attention, and I'm not even mad at it. Okay, Mark's got his own reasons why he's chasing Jeffrey. It's more to do with the fact that she can't be got, so he's chasing something that he doesn't necessarily want. Andre, I think Andre is looking for somebody who will literally sponsor him in his encouragement when it comes to his ambitions and his goals. Like somebody's gonna say, "You done well, you done great, you done amazing." She's gonna pump him up. So she's a smart one. She knows how to strategize. Okay, she knows how to strategize, how to collect these men like infinity stones, and I'm not mad at it. Okay, I'm not mad at it, and I appreciate the game. The game is the game, and if you fall for the game, I can't save you. Brandy, any thoughts on what's been said already?
Yeah. I think there's a chance maybe Andre really is going after Jeffrey legitimately. I kind of think he's playing a game. Like, I think he does really like her, and I can't be mad that Jeffrey know how to, play into her feminine wiles, and she's getting these guys like, kudos to her, as fake as we see her being, like, kudos to her. But I think maybe he does really like her, but I think like when the rubber meets the road and it gets down to trying to raise them 3 kids of hers and see his apartment, his lifestyle, I don't think it would last long term. Like, even though she does give him all the kudos and the praise that he needs, and she deals with that swirly cute hair and all that stuff he going on because nobody else takes him seriously. So, good for him for finding him someone who likes all that stuff he's giving. But I don't think like in real life it would last like on a serious situation, because I don't think he really want to deal with all those kids and everything that's going to come with it. Not, no offense to people having kids and stuff, but I don't think he literally is going to really do that.
Yep, I'm definitely here. Definitely here. Any last thoughts on Andre, Jeffrey, and Cynthia triangle before I move it to Cynthia and Anthony? If I say something, let's move it first of all to Mark Anthony and Mercedes and Anthony as well, because this episode Mercedes let Anthony down nicely and said, better I'm gonna focus on my my targets. And then obviously we got to see more of the connection between Mark Anthony and Mercedes. Honestly, I'm telling you, I'm coming back to that comment that I said about him calling her my future ex-wife. I saw it more today. I said that brother, if Mercedes ever, Mark Anthony's the kind of guy that if he doesn't get what he wants, I can see him settling with someone like Mercedes. Like, he gonna settle with her, and she gonna be waiting around for the next 5 years, and he gonna settle with her, and he going to despise the socks of her foot. Okay, he's going to despise the socks on her foot. Her token drop off, and he won't care. Like, I'm just telling you that's the kind of level he gonna be at. Like, if he ever marries Mercedes, and I'm not saying because he's bad, I'm saying because he just doesn't care enough about her. And unfortunately, her availability for him in this instance is a tool a tool and a resource for him to use as leverage. But the way he reacted with the candle situation, like, brother told old girl, show me some love. I said, brother, are you what's going on? What's happening right now at this point? Like, why are you talking like that? So yeah, I definitely feel like his situation with Mercedes is unfortunate, but yeah, he definitely don't want that woman. No worries. He don't want that woman. You know what I mean? Do you feel me? See, why are you shaking your head? See, talk to me.
Because now I've never had this problem. Mercedes problem that she has, I can't really relate, but I have seen it in a lot of women, and I tell people this all the time. You cannot be this eager. You cannot be this thirsty. You cannot be this available. You don't shoot your shot. I don't care how many people say women can shoot their shot too. Don't do it. In my opinion, it's the man who finds a wife. The man will go after who he wants, not the other way around. And there's a reason for that. She has made herself too available. And I get it, right? A lot of us women are like, we gotta focus. It's hard for us to date multiple men seriously at one time. We can play around, but like, it's hard to lock in with multiple serious connections. I understand that. So what she's doing is what naturally you want to do. It's like, let me just focus, right? But you can't focus on a man that's not really showing that he's going to focus on you. And that's why, you know, maybe we need to change the semantics of loving someone more, right? Maybe let's just change it to don't be all into a man until he takes that first big step. Because for the relationship to work, you need his intention first. A woman can't will a man into intention. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to work. Because what really stood out to me is she's smiling, had this whole day talking to this man about what he wants. And he still kind of said, you know, he don't, you know, he wants a relationship, but not marriage in a couple years. Then she leaves the date and was like, oh, this is wonderful. And I'm just like, what was wonderful about this? And then he's in the confessional still talking about Jeffrey. Baffling to me. Never in you know, and my husband hates when I say this, but also, like, men don't like nice. And I know y'all also don't like when I say that. But she's just too nice. She's smiling too much. She's too happy to be there. Like, he really needs a challenge. And I think men like Mark Anthony need a challenge. So I feel bad, but I would just use this as a learning experience for everyone. Don't be like Mercedes. Yeah. And if you're going to go for the man who's clearly one of the nicer looking dudes in the group, although I'm not sure about his money situation, but I'm going to leave that alone. You have to leave a bit of mystery to yourself. You can't lock in too much because Mark Anthony has plenty of options. And that's not how you get the man who has lots of options. She needs to talk to all the girls and the groupies who get these basketball players and these actors and these football players. I promise you they didn't get them by being overly eagered and available. You gotta have some type of mystery to yourself. So that's what I got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't roll with that. I'm gonna say that more ladies should actually be like Mercedes. That rhymed. Wow. Yeah, like, listen, I don't think that we should get used to toxicity all the time and think that's going to automatically lead to some type of healthy relationship. And counseling doesn't really resolve some of those things. Mercedes seems like a wholesome lady. She, you know, I think Mark Anthony definitely is giving me playboy player type vibes. I think he knows that a lot of women find him attractive. But at the same time, he doesn't come across as arrogant or conceited, thinking that he can get any girl there, because he hasn't. There are some girls that haven't gravitated towards him at all. So I like this couple. I've been calling it from a while back. I think their connection seems genuine, without problems that at least can't be talked out. They seem to be of similar age. And they probably have quite a few similarities in terms of like hobbies or what they do. They're affectionate. They kiss multiple times. And they seem pretty easygoing with each other. You know, they haven't hit a roadblock or a hurdle yet for me to say Mercedes needs to stop doing what she's doing, or necessarily him need to stop doing what he's doing. So I like the connection. I think this is one that could definitely make it to the end. But I don't know why he keeps mentioning Jeffrey in the same breath as Mercedes. They're probably two different types of attraction. And he's already seen that Andre and Jeffrey have connected a lot during the retreat. So, why is he hanging in there, man? Look, the one thing I liked about this episode is it seemed to streamline everyone's connections a bit. So, Mercedes, keep doing what you do. And Mark Anthony, I hope you pick up what she's dropping for you.
Brandy, go for it, and then see where you can go after.
Okay, so I get what Seaway is saying too. Like, not that we want the toxicity stuff to keep going. Like, I understand that, but it's true. Like, you can't give some men too much because then they will just walk all over you. They will use it against you. Like, you do have to leave a little bit of a mystery. Also, I think that Mark Anthony, he does like Mercedes. I think he just wants to know he can win Jeffrey, though, not necessarily to be with her, because he's not about to deal with all them kids either. But I think that he was using Mercedes in that candle moment to make Jeffrey jealous with the whole, like, oh, show me some love out here, show me some love, because you aren't doing all that before. Like, he was irritated about the candle thing, so then he used Mercedes to try to make Jeffrey jealous, and she made some little remarks in a confessional, so maybe it worked. I don't know, but I feel like he's just playing a game, and I hope Mercedes doesn't take him as seriously as it looks like she does on camera. Hopefully, she said she didn't want nothing too serious with Anthony, so hopefully she's kind of just playing and not there for something too serious with him so that she doesn't get hurt, because he's been just playing the game, really.
You know, my thing is, not a lot of people, some people are saying she shouldn't have to change. They're good guys. A good guy won't make her change. The fact of the matter is that Mercedes is not going after good guys. She's going after Mark Anthony. Like, yeah, she can be who she wants to be if she goes after the type of guy that may appreciate her free spirit, whatever. She's going after a guy that wants a challenge. And also, look at the guys that are interested in Mercedes. I find it ironic that the guys that are interested in Mercedes, like Anthony, like Andre, are the people that she's not paying any attention. What does that tell you? You know what I mean? Like, even if she finds a really, really nice guy, if she just jumps head in like that, I don't think it's gonna work out well. But you know, people can do what they want. But I think coming off super eager for men who tend to be hunters and gatherers is what they should be. That's what they were bred to be. I mean, it's not gonna work out. And the guys that are super interested in her are the ones that she's paying literally no attention. What does that say?
Listen, I absolutely hear you. I mean, I think Mercedes is, and again, you know, I like Mercedes' energy, and I don't want her to necessarily change. I just want her to be more aware, and that's an addition to her good energy. I want her to be aware, and I think that's the biggest issue. Like, when you get street smart, it's not that, you know, you are having to change who you are, but it's that you're becoming smarter and more aware of the dangers that possibly lie in the streets that you're going through. You know what I mean? And the same thing could be said in a dating game. Some of the streets are dangerous. Okay. And you need to be able to navigate them by being conscious and being aware. And what she's doing is, as someone said in the chat, behaving almost like she's green. And unfortunately, in the dating game, this can leave you exposed and open to the predators that are in that field, like a rabbit seeing a wolf. It's gonna be chow time. You know what I mean? And so there has to be some form of defense that you have, which means not necessarily that you're even trying to hold back, but you don't put all your energy in straight away. You measure it a little bit as well in the response. You're being open to what you're seeing, but you're weighing up what you're seeing. There's critical thought and critique behind the behavior. You weigh it up. So it's less about playing a game and actually more about just being more aware of the fact that not everyone's intentions are good. You know what I mean? It's almost like somebody who's been sheltered in their life and thinking that because they've been sheltered, every human being is amazing. And then you meet some absolute trash human beings, and then you realize, I have to change some of my behaviors, or at least I have to adapt some of my behaviors. I can still believe in the general good of man, but I have to be aware that not everybody co-signs that particular behavior. And so in that respect, just kind of telling her, listen, you know, just, you know, baby, listen, whilst you're open, you know, just be aware of the fact that pay attention to some of the things that you may be seeing or maybe experiencing. But yeah, I'm sure she's a good, and she'll be able to survive. You know what I mean? So yeah. Yes, JR, do you want to say something? And then I'll get Sean go.
Yeah. I was going to say, listen, her picker obviously isn't that bad because she steered cleared of the most problematic guys on the show, which, if we go by accusations off camera, Blake was one of them. She hasn't had a connection with him. Also, what's his name? Tony, Hothead Tony. She hasn't gone with him either. So she's, in my opinion, just navigated towards someone who's of similar age and stage in life, and like I said, maybe some similarities. I haven't seen Mark Anthony do anything majorly problematic, whereas the two other guys I've mentioned, Tony and Blake, allegedly, they've been the talking points from the male perspective, as red flags or whatever. So she may be naive, but we can say that about Morgan. Morgan's never had a relationship which has led to I love yous and all of that, apparently, right? Is she green? She's picked the most problematic guy on the show at the moment. Mercedes isn't as, I mean, she looks innocent. I just don't think she's as green as everyone's thinking. She's played it very low key. She's not at the center of any drama. And she's been pretty much invested in Mark Anthony from quite a while back. So, like it's a steady relationship from what we see, or the steady building of one. And I think that's why I think that's why some people may find it weird, because it's gone quite smoothly for them. And what people are used to seeing is the toxicity and the back and forths and the hot-headedness and the petty comments, and that's not normal. Like that shouldn't be what we aim for. That shouldn't be what we see as potential for building a stable relationship. So yeah, Mercedes and Mark Anthony pretty boring, but I don't think she's completely naive. I don't think he is either.
Sean, talk to them, please.
What's up, everybody? I just in watching this, I do kind of get that we want to see a little more from Mercedes, but I honestly think why she aligned herself with Mark Anthony is because they are evenly yoked, in the sense of they both want the same thing. They both seem to be on the same page in terms of what they want in terms of a relationship. It's not a whole lot of seriousness up front, right? I think that Mercedes can be serious, but it's going to be one of those things where it's going to take her some time, right? And she's not pressed, in her mind. I don't see her being pressed, like, oh, I'm ready to have kids tomorrow, or, I really want to settle down and, get married and, have a white picket fence and a house. She's not saying that. Even when they'd had that, I think it was a digital exclusive, or a scene where they had a tarot card reading, and the tarot card reader came up and read her palm, and or read her cards or whatever, and they said something about her being pregnant and to be careful around pregnancy, and she was like, yeah, no, I don't want no kids right now. So that gave us some insight into where her headspace is, right? And it's okay. I think you should be with someone where you're aligned. When they are together, it seems effortless. It seems like they belong together. Their energies seem to match to me. So I think if there were a couple that were matched, it's them. Maybe we look at them and see like we just want more, but that's who they are. And that's the space that they both exist in, and they seem to be aligned. Now, why he's still fishing for Jeffrey, to me, just is more of his, he may be a little naive. He may be wooed in and lured in by her feminine wiles, right? But not thinking clearly in terms of what the future is really going to be and what she really wants, because she's talking about spiritual husbands and Christian fathers and whatever she's talking about. This is Jeffrey, right? And all those things are not him. So I think that Mark Anthony probably just needs to do a reset and really understand what he's prepared to be and do in a relationship. From what I see, it seems like he's the one that needs a little bit more adjusting. Now, when it comes to her dismissing Anthony, I think she did that is probably as nice a way as she could. Now, I think she's putting too much on this. Oh, I'm not reciprocal and I don't have it to give. Either she's stretching things out because she's just not interested or attracted, or she is somewhat intimidated, or two things at the same time. I really can't put my finger on it. But what I don't understand is why she keeps talking about I can't match your energy and all these other things, where it just all kinds of sounds like I'm just not interested in you. This is probably like the second or third time she's had to reject this guy in one way or another. So that part I didn't really understand. So I'm a little confused in terms of why that conversation needed to happen again, because I thought it happened early on when they had that park date. But it is what it is.
I mean, I definitely hear you. I think personally with Mercedes and Mark Anthony, something that was said, which is really interesting. When she spoke to Anthony, she said, it's a little bit too serious for me. And that's when I said, she's unserious. I'm not saying that his situation isn't serious, but when she explained it, all you could actually hear was, I'm an unserious candidate. I'm here for fun. And your situation is serious. I'm not here for all that shenanigans. I just want to have a bit of fun, which is why Mark Anthony is becoming that person that she can really get close to for having that bit of fun. I'm not even impressed about it. I'm not annoyed about that. Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying, but are you ready to love? I don't think you're not here for that show. I think you're really here ready for fun. And I think you need to be elsewhere. This ain't the show for it. But you're nice to look at, but you're not here for the love thing. I need you to also, like some of the other people, need to maybe she needs to find Lyndon. That's why I don't get why she didn't like Lyndon. Sis, he's here for the fun too. He's here for the games. He's here for the shenanigans. He's here for all the madness that you want to do, right? But her eyesight, she got beeline for Mark Anthony because she's trying to catch the biggest pond for her, fish in the pond for her, who's the most good looking. Okay, she getting swayed by the handsomeness and has never looked anywhere else since. But sis, can I be honest with you? The brother's never looked at you in the same way. Just want to be honest, but she'll learn that as she grows. Go for it, C-Way.
Just food for thought. You don't believe she's blowing smoke up Anthony's behind with this I'm not that serious? And let me explain. Probably. Do I think she wants to be do I believe she wants to be a stepmother? Absolutely not. Neither would I, right? That doesn't mean I'm not ready to love, though. I would not want to be a stepmother. That feels very serious to me. And I've even told people that before I got married. You and your baby mama is too much for me. Okay? I don't want that. I'm not interested. But I believe if Mark Anthony had a child, she would not be saying that. Because her conversation with Mark Anthony is, are you looking for something serious? And when he didn't completely shut down, when he said, yes, I'm looking for something serious. I don't want to be married like tomorrow, but I'm looking for something serious. She was like, oh my God, thank God he's looking for something serious. Because I think she was prepared for him to say, I'm not looking for something serious right now. And when he said that he was, she was like, thank you, Jesus. Okay, I'm officially locked in. We're good. So I think we may be misreading what she's actually looking for. I do believe she's looking for a serious relationship with Mark Anthony. I don't believe she's looking to be somebody's mama or stepmama tomorrow. And that's why I think she didn't go for Lyndon, because she wants Mark Anthony. And if he said, look, I want to be married next year, she would have been like, okay, all right. She would have been fine with it because that's who she wants. She doesn't want Anthony. She doesn't want him. or his kids. That's just not what she wants. So she's trying to be nice.
That's a fair point. I can't argue that. Yes, Sean, go for it.
Yeah, I agree with Seaway, and then I also would say she don't want Lyndon because everybody's being nice to Lyndon after Corvea ran him ram shot in the beginning, but pretty much Morgan said the same thing. He's not stable, right? You know, and most women don't want that roommate situation in their 30s. You know, it just is what it is. They want, somebody that is more stable, and so I think it's nice to see there's probably no chemistry, and she wants to, be with somebody that, yeah, she may not want something totally serious, but she don't want to have to tiptoe, after the night of fun around a roommate, saying what's up and good morning and how you like your eggs, So my little thoughts on that.
Any other additional thoughts? JR looks satisfied that you defended Mercedes well, Seaway. That's his personal favorite, I can tell, because the way he was like, yeah. I can see that this one is his personal favorite. Yes.
He likes
Go for it.
Mercedes is his favorite. I didn't know.
I think Mercedes is his favorite. I'm just guessing because the way he's nodding his head, he's very happy that he defended her like that. You know what I mean? So I think that Mercedes is his favorite. Not even for his phone.
She got a chill vibe. JR got a chill vibe. I can see that. I can see it.
I hear that still. Ain't even no lie. Brandy, did you want to add something? Go for it.
Yeah, I was going to add the part I agree, like maybe Mercedes is not looking for like super serious like with Anthony, but like more long-term fun, serious with Mark Anthony. But the part of her conversation with Anthony that was interesting to me is she called herself a liability. And I was like, why would she call herself that? Does she mean because he is, a nurse practitioner, he has a kid? I'm assuming he owned his own home. Like maybe she feels like she won't, like maybe he's more serious, like too serious for her. I was just curious, like, why would she call herself a liability? That's kind of like, I wouldn't call myself a liability, but I don't know, maybe the situation. And then also when she let him down easy for the third time, and he said, as long as you're happy. And she said, I'm working on it. She said it kind of low, but I think they put the caption on the screen. And she said, I'm working on it, taking it one day at a time. And I was like, like, I wonder if she has some kind of healing to do that also made her feel like she wasn't quite ready for a man like Anthony and could maybe deal with more of a Mark Anthony. I was, that's the part that really intrigued me.
That's a really good catch. I missed that. That's interesting. Not sure what I think about that, except for maybe her bubbliness is masking some stuff that she's going through. Because I know a lot of people who got that super bubbly personality are dealing with a lot of stuff deep down. So maybe there's something there. I missed that though originally.
Yeah, I caught that actually. And if she does have stuff going on, I mean, everybody has things going on, right? But the key thing is she doesn't let it control her behavior on the screen, or she doesn't lose control to the point where she doesn't let whatever she's going through or whatever hang up she may have personally, we're only speculating at this point, but she doesn't let it seep out into behaviors which are detrimental to what her purpose is on the show. So she has a calm vibe, calm demeanor, and I think Mark Anthony would probably be better off with a calmer person rather than, like you said, dating someone who has a lot more going on. Because if we check it, Mark Anthony would have to be pretty serious if he got with Jeffrey, in the same way that Mercedes would have to be pretty serious with Anthony, because they both come with children. So it's different to just casually dating. You're going to have to get to know the children, and hopefully they get on well with you, and that will come over time. It's not something that a responsible parent would just throw you into the deep end at an early stage. It's a gradual process. And so I think Mercedes letting Anthony down for, like Brandy said, the third time, you know, like once was enough for me. I knew there wasn't nothing there, but you know, I think the depreciating aspect of it, I think that's another way to try and calmly, smoothly tell him, you know, I'm not ready for what you bring at my stage in life, at the age I am, you know, getting into a relationship with someone that has prior kids and you know, as accomplished as he is, you know, she may not want to take that task on, and that's fair play to her. At least she was honest with it, and she didn't lead him on into thinking otherwise. But Mark Anthony is more her speed.
So I'm not even mad at it. I hear you guys, you know, and I'm willing to rescind my statements on Mercedes. And I'm hearing what you guys are saying. I'm on your side. I'm on your side. Okay, all right, and I'm on the side. Mercedes, if you're out there, strap the frick up. Okay, strap up. Okay, don't let these boys, okay, take your youth away from you, baby. Okay, all right, just be sensible out there. All right, cool. Let's talk about obviously then one last couple, which was Anthony Cynthia situation, because Anthony obviously was really beelining for Mercedes too. Can't lie to you, he really had Mercedes in his sights. Like he really wanted Mercedes, but he ended up coming up the water like it's a James Bond movie, and he kissed Cynthia like it was Shark Tale. But we want to get your thoughts on their connection. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not buying Anthony's towards Cynthia. I don't know what it is. I just don't buy it. I'm not saying he's not attracted. I just don't buy it. I don't know why. I don't feel it. I feel like Cynthia likes Anthony that way, but I'm not sure if he likes her that way. I don't feel it for some reason. So it may just be me. But that kiss, after, I mean, again, they might have edited so the sequence of scenes might not be necessary, but it was like that kiss came after you had a conversation with Mercedes too. Brother, you was never really in second place really with Mark Anthony. Like you didn't have a chance. You know what I mean? So I just don't understand what took you so long to get to a point now where you kiss Cynthia and get excited. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm saying too much. Maybe I'm doing too much. But I don't necessarily buy that Anthony likes Cynthia all the way that she liked him. So I don't know. Maybe you guys have a different thought. Maybe you saw it differently to how I saw it. Let me know your thoughts down below. Okay, audience, get it in the chat. But panel, Sean, do you believe in this particular
No
situation?
No. I don't see it from either one of their sides.
Okay.
I mean, I think that they have settled into each other because they're, you know, it's giving, you know, go ahead and we might as well just do it. You know, I know they said that they're going to wait to kiss. And, you know, listen, it's TV. So I understand the kiss, you know, sometimes it can be awkward. I don't know. But I don't see chemistry. I really don't. I don't see genuine chemistry between the two of them. But who am I and what the hell do I know? But from what I see watching the two of them, I don't see them walking off the end of the show and riding off into the sunset. I just don't see it. It doesn't look like a connection. I think they could be really good friends. I see them as, you know, being unproblematic together, but I don't see like the true all firing on all cylinders couple. You know, from the both of them. I think Cynthia has talked a lot about some depth and things that she wants. And I don't know that that's Anthony. And I'm not saying that he lacks depth, but I don't see anything there, right? And I haven't really seen actions that line up. Is he a good dad? I'm sure he's a good dad. But I don't really hear from him the kind of man he is. You know, I don't really get to see, hear how he, navigates this process. And I know it's a show, it's hard to see that, but I don't get a lot of insight into his character. He seems like a nice guy, but I don't really see that he's going to be able to do all the things that Cynthia says that she needs. So again, I think it's great. They're not going to cause any issues or ripples, but I don't see them walking off into the sunset. I want to be wrong about this. I do. I hope they make it if they really do have genuine feelings for each other, but I just don't. I can't see it.
Cool. Anyone have an opposing view? Anyone think that they are meant for each other? Anyone think that they could make a good couple? Anyone with a similar view? If not, I guess we're all dissenting. Yes, they are. Yeah, believe in that, brother.
Yeah, I definitely think they have something. Not sure how far it goes, but the objective is to make it to the end of the show and find a match. I guess hopefully it might lead to love. I think it's still early, but I definitely agree that she seems to be more expressive. I like the way that after a conversation with Andre, she walked across and Anthony was coming out the pool at the time, and she, or he was around the pool area. She led him over to the corner, and there was I can't remember if she had her legs on his shoulders or something like that, but they were sitting there having a nice interaction as usual, unproblematic. I think there may not be the sparks that we want to see, but I think what they have is at least a stable foundation to build something off of. The kiss, I felt the kiss was genuine. It wasn't accidental. He rose up, she was there, and they even hugged after that for a while. Yeah, like I can't be harsh on these two. I think the other problem is Anthony not being as expressive, maybe why people doubt his sincerity. Because as we've seen, Cynthia seems to be quite analytical about certain things going on in the house. She's also quite perceptive about how she feels about certain things and is comfortable expressing it. And she does it in a way that isn't confrontational or problematic. Even in the elimination, she eliminated her homegirl Morgan's 2 connections. That's who she said she'd go home. But she, she's honest and she's cool. She seems like her vibe, her energy, her personality is quite easy to get along with. So if Anthony doesn't take the opportunity that's presented here, she's got children, he's got children, they're both career professionals, they seem to get on well. If he doesn't take up this opportunity, I don't know what he's looking for, because it could be he could pick someone a lot more problematic. He could go through ups and downs and be stressed out and frustrated every day. And in his line of work, I assume he's going to be in a position of great responsibility, being a nurse. He come home to someone who is calm, nurturing, respectful, expressive, but without being rude with it. It sounds like a winning situation, in my opinion.
Yep. Brandy.
Yeah, I was going to say that I think that Anthony and Cynthia look good together. I don't think we see a lot of clear passion, but I think they both are very intentional on how they move and how they want it to be presented on camera. Anthony also, he's been a mystery to me all season. I've been trying to figure him out all season. And in one episode, I was thinking, well, maybe he's like an undercover player, because and I could be wrong, but only because of the episode. I'm not sure if it's when Mercedes and Savannah and Cynthia met his friend, what was her name, Miriam or something? I think it was that episode. Anyway, and in the deliberations with the men, he was saying, I think nephew Tommy asked him something about, you know, are you okay with losing the connection with Sue-Ann? And he said something to the effect of like, well, you know, she can't, you know, see that I like her, and I don't want, I shouldn't have to tell her, like something to the effect. He basically said like, I don't want Sue-Ann saying something to this one and that one. And I was like, like maybe he's trying to move under the like maybe he's moving under the radar. And I'm like worried about the reunion because I'm hoping like him and Cynthia, Anthony and Cynthia would run off into the sunset together. But then the other part of me is like, I feel like, is this going to be one of those reunions where we found out like Anthony was moving crazy behind the scenes, or are they just not showing us enough of Cynthia and Anthony's connection on screen? I hope that they're just not showing us enough. I hope that we're not about to get all this crazy tea on Anthony and that he's really moving like crazy undercover. Like we're not really getting the real him. So I don't know.
Hey, listen, I hear you, man. You know, I just think that Anthony I don't think he found his one, and I don't think Cynthia found her one personally. I think they're both shy. They both fall shy and fall short of what they both would ideally want. Because I can see Anthony really wanted Mercedes. I can see that Cynthia really wanted Andre. But you know, she had to take a beeline and had to redirect her efforts elsewhere. Anthony too. So I definitely feel like they had different ideas when it came to what they were wanting, and I think they found each other second best. But you know, I think Cynthia would be happy to go along with Anthony. I just don't think Anthony would be as happy as Cynthia to go on a long-term basis. But I don't know. It's weird because I think Anthony's got a much calmer disposition to Andre, complete opposite. And you'll see a video that I'm going to drop maybe later on the week about what I was saying about, because Andre and her had a conversation the last episode, not this episode, but the last one. And she mentioned about this depth. And I said, well, that's not Andre then. I know you have some deep conversations, because they have deep conversations, but when we're talking about depth, what you really mean is somebody who can intertextualize, have conversation that, you know, spans different subjects, and we can be brought into one and make it relatable and make it understandable. You know what I mean? And I was like, baby, that doesn't seem like it's Andre. So what's the chasing of Andre? Why was Andre, you know, something on your list per se? But then I'm looking at Anthony too. If I've pegged Anthony correctly, pause. But if I've pegged him correctly, you know, then Anthony is somebody who why are you popping up? Why are you not popping up like that, man? I said pause. Okay.
Messy, being messy.
Yeah. You know, so if I've got Anthony correct, I think he's somebody who, you know, probably does maybe some deep thinking. I do think he's a little bit deep. Does deep thinking, and is quite intellectual in the way he reasons of things. That's why I was concerned as to why he wants Mercedes. But I realized sometimes people want the opposite of what they are, because it kind of gives a little bit more of a roundedness, and it's attractive because it's the person who does something that you don't necessarily do. But I definitely didn't think that Mercedes was the right one, nor did I think Andre was the right one for Cynthia. And maybe they both need to redirect their focuses in choosing maybe different types of people, because those two, they weren't it. All right. Any other last thoughts on this couple? No. All righty. I think that's all the people that have gone through it. That's all the people that's gone through. You know, that was all the couples that was short on that part. Sean.
Man, I missed JR's commentary on Jeffrey. I gotta go watch.
He actually did you say anything on Jeffrey today, JR? I don't think he said much on Jeffrey today. You know, he kept it low key today. He didn't really say much.
Wow.
I did not. I did not.
He kept it low key today. He didn't
even comment on her. If you would oblige me just a few minutes to do a little recap, but
he literally said he wouldn't too. He said absolutely no recaps for latecomers.
I generally did say that. I'm so sorry.
He's probably still gonna let you do it, but he said no recaps.
I'm not. I can't go back on my word.
Hey,
sorry, Sean.
I respect it.
What you can do is do the summary And if you do
There's
say
a
something, what can I say?
benediction. Oh, okay.
What can I say? What can I
They
say?
want to
It's a
talk about
benediction.
Blake going home. They want to talk about Blake going home. Did you want to cover that or no?
What do they want to? Okay, we can talk about it. I don't really mind, but I ain't got much to say because he went home. Where else is he gonna go? Because Suanna's out. But if someone's got a different opinion, I mean, listen, by all means, add it so we can say it. I don't mind.
Jeez.
I do have something positive to say. I have something positive to say. His
Oh wait, hold on,
self-reflection-
wait, hold on, wait, hold on. Wait. Seaway has something positive to say about Blake. Now, Jake can go on. Seaway.
I do. I tried to be fair, right? When he gave his first of all, I always respect people who don't stick around just for the show when their people are gone. So you automatically get points with me for going home respectfully. I think that's great. But more importantly, he really seemed like he internalized that although he may be a straight shooter, and kind of straightforward, the way he has talked to people may not be the best, and his delivery may not be the best. So I always like people who are able to take criticism, think about it, internalize it, and get something positive from the process. And I think that although he may have been right about a lot of the things that he said, he recognized that his delivery didn't have to be the way it was at all times. And I think a person who's able to self-reflect and adjust is always going to go farther in life than those who escape accountability. And I appreciated his accountability in that moment. And I wanted to say that because that, to me, accountability goes a long way. And I think he really showed it there. And I thought that was positive. So I want to say that.
Appreciate it, Seaway. Anyone else want to add about Blake?
Yeah. Everything Seaway said, I agree. Listen, if he didn't self-eliminate, he would have been next to go home anyway. So he just sped up the process a bit. He not only didn't have any other connections on the show, but the chances of him striking a connection up with such little time remaining is going to be impossible. So he did the smart thing. Only Suan's votes were keeping him from being completely annihilated. Being in the bottom every week, it was only Suan saying she had a connection with him that probably kept him there. When she got voted off, he had to go. I'm glad he had the self-awareness to at least realize that he wouldn't be welcome once she's gone. And then if you look at the comments made by Jeffrey when Suan left and when he left, it probably would have got a lot more problematic in the house if he had stayed. So yep, he's gone. Finally, after all these weeks. And I don't think he'll be missed. Not by anybody, because they're busy getting on with who they are connected with, hopefully.
Appreciate it, JR. Anyone else got thoughts on Blake deciding to leave the show? Anyone else got thoughts on him leaving? Yes, Sean.
I hope there can be a retraction about this malignant cancer because
talk about it, Sean. Talk about it.
I didn't see it. So I was waiting for it to show up. And
no, it showed up, sir. It showed up. It just wasn't on the right patient. It wasn't on the right patient that was diagnosed.
Oh, well, hey, listen. That's why they say about be careful about throwing them stones, right? Because there's one flying right back your way. And listen, I think what he said, truth be told, I know that caused was so, was the end of the world. It was earth shattering because he said Mercedes is willing to have children, by any means necessary. But
that was Morgan.
Morgan, I apologize. But yeah, she is. I'm sorry, because if she's settling in on Tony, that's by any means necessary, because she's missing the red flags that even Tommy could see, and he usually don't even, go in like that. And he even pointed it out. So I'm still just waiting for the malignant cancer to show up. He's handled all the darts thrown his way with grace, whether it's from Morgan, whether it's from Jeffrey, or anybody else that had an opinion about him that doesn't know him or hasn't had a true interaction with him. Yes, we can say Jonique was a little, she didn't like the energy at the table. Okay. Now, again, he's walked off saying he learned. So I'm sorry, that's just not a malignant cancer to me. When I expect to see somebody completely toxic, and I haven't seen any of that behavior yet. So I think he really is owed an apology. I hope at the reunion, Morgan is ready to say, listen, I overshot and my comments were a little harsh. So that would show me that she has healed from her nair ways and some of her meanness that she has, as beautiful as she is. I mean, I'm not going to hold you. She's gorgeous. Cynthia is absolutely gorgeous, breathtaking women, but behavior, problematic. So really, I do hope that there's an apology coming his way. I know it takes a lot for a woman to apologize to a man, especially publicly, but I think at this point, from what we've seen, he is owed it.
Listen, I absolutely hear. I said I wasn't saying anything, but I'm going to say something. The Blake situation. I think some ladies in the chat owe us an apology. I think they should come out and do separate 1 minute Instagram videos and just be saying, tag me in it, and just be like, listen, LBB, Sean, we were wrong. We were hyperactive on Blake. We did too much, but we've calmed down and we've realized our own mistake, and we can see where you guys are coming from. I think this will be a great experiment to see how humble some people are in the chat, because some people were really wrong, really, 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 really wrong, and some people are doing some great pivots as well at this moment as well. So, but we appreciate the fact that, people are pivoting now and seeing what Blake really is. Listen, I didn't say anybody's name, Seaway. Okay. I didn't say anybody's name. Okay.
I ain't pivot, and this is why you can't be nice, because I was trying to show the positive side of Blake, and y'all done took an inch and just ran with it. So look, I done learned my lesson. I'm gonna keep my positivity to myself. Y'all done took the football and ran.
What did we truly run with? Tell us, what did we run with?
Owing Blake an apology. Only Morgan knows that she owes Blake an apology. And if he did nothing to deserve what she said, then I hope she does give him an apology. But I'm not apologizing for nothing I said, because what I said is what I meant. But
it's not about what you meant. It's about if you were wrong. And if you were wrong, you got to take it back. Same way we got to take it back.
I'm talking about what I saw. And I mean, everything
I said anyway, we ain't seen nothing. We ain't seen nothing. We've got to the end.
I saw him be rude and short and curt and dismissive, and that's the only thing I've said about him. I didn't call him nothing but what I saw. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing for me to apologize, because I only spoke on what I saw. But I will reiterate that if Morgan feels like she needs to apologize for calling him a malignant cancer on national TV, that's for her to decide. And if that was not deserved, then she should apologize. But minimizing the experiences, and I'm talking to Sean, and I've said this already behind the scenes, about how Morgan or Janique or other people felt about what he said, I don't think that's right either. But I don't want to tussle about Blake.
You told me
I want to tussle about Blake.
You told me minimizing was the wrong word the last time I used that when we talked about Blake. So no, I wasn't minimizing the experiences. I actually addressed it. I just said I don't think that's akin to him being a malignant cancer.
No, I'm talking about what you said about Morgan didn't have a right to feel away because she is looking to have a baby with anyone. And that's what I'm referring to. I'm not talking about the malignant cancer part.
But he didn't say that to her. He said that to the group. That's why I said, even though he might have said it, he never said it. He said what he said to her was, what did he say exactly? It was a comment. He said something slightly different to that, though. He said something else to the boys. Then he said something straight to actually her face. I can't remember what was that comment. Was it something similar? But I mean, to be fair, listen, I mean, if it's not you, then it's not you. But I'm just saying, some people were hard on this Blake situation. And I'm just saying, if you were hard on them, you know who you are. If you are hard on him, he has proven through the 11 episodes, because y'all were waiting for the penny to drop. The penny is still spinning, and it's going to keep on spinning because it hasn't dropped. You know what I mean? So all I'm saying is some people may just need to just, next time round, just chill a little bit, like just like us as men have had to learn how to hear what the ladies are saying and be like, you know what, maybe you guys have got a point. Now we have to be a bit more open. We're not going to be trying to narrow. We're asking for the ladies to do exactly the same. So, I'm just saying that if you're one of those people that was a hard on for Blake, I'm just saying, pause. But if anyone's a hard on for Blake, pause again. Then I'm just asking you guys, and ladies, you gotta say every time, because someone's wrong. Just do a U-turn. You're not the Titanic. Do a U-turn and just be like, look, we got it wrong about Blake. We got it wrong.
Can we wait till the reunion?
Good luck, Kojo. It never happens. It never happens.
You want to wait till the reunions? Anyway, you want to wait. We're
gonna be waiting till Jesus returns.
I want to wait. No. There's a reason. I want to wait to the reunion because I feel like that is the last place for people to have their say about actually what happened behind the scenes. And I feel like that's the best time and the best place to address apologies for anybody in the chat who needs to address apologies. If for Morgan who needs to address an apology. I just want to give everyone the opportunity.
Why do you want to give them an opportunity, Z-Way? Why do you want to give them an opportunity?
Because there was too much of the mess on camera, right, was relating to stuff that was allegedly off camera. That's why I'm saying. So you can't really address what happened off camera until you get everybody on one stage so they can say what happened. That's what I'm saying.
There are 11 episodes that you could have used to nail him, and we are still waiting. But listen, it will get to reunion. And we'll say, well, we have to wait because you know what? Maybe some ex-baby mother is going to come out and tell us the truth about how he really is. Like the bar will be continually pushed until the very end. And I'm saying that for ladies, I think for once, y'all need to admit that you might have got this one wrong. You just need to admit that you got this one wrong, and it's okay. And just be okay with that, because when we're wrong, y'all want us to hold us to a fault and say the man, you don't know about these other men. And I'm like, yo, okay, well, we could be wrong. And when we're wrong, we have to say we're wrong. And I'm saying, you know what?
You didn't wait to be wrong about Zach until some baby mama girlfriend came out after the reunion. After it was like 5 interviews later. That was when we got an apology about Zach. So all I'm saying is that took a really long time, Kojo. All I'm saying is at least give people to the reunion. I think that's fair.
To be fair, just before it got to that point, we had already conceded. But we were tussling for you the whole season. I'll be honest with you, we were tussling you the whole season.
We still ain't conceded.
Okay, but again, once more, look what we're saying then. This is a perfect example of relationships for people in general. I love this moment. So we were wrong. We held on way too long. Okay, we held on way too long. You're absolutely right. We held on for way too long. Okay, we're holding on to that dearest hope for far too long, and we were wrong for it. Why would you want to follow our footsteps in the wrong behavior that we have done, and then try to say later on that and then next time try to say that this is not how we should do it? Rather, shouldn't you know now? You know better because we've done it wrong, and you told us there's a better way to do it. Shouldn't you do it the better way?
We should. No, we should. But what I'm saying is I think the last bit of information I need to see how this situation, I'm talking about the malignant cancer situation with Morgan.
And the narc comments from our audience.
And the narc comment, I want to see how it's addressed. I feel like we have enough information on Jeffrey. We can just push her to the side. We know we have enough information on Morgan as her person. We can push that to the side. I think we have enough information to judge both of those people if you guys want to judge them. Blake, to me, is still an enigma. I'm trying to figure out why people felt so strongly. And I think maybe the reunion will clear that up. And if it doesn't, if you cannot use the reunion's platform to clarify why you felt so strongly about him, then people just need to leave it alone, and an apology for apology, and leave it alone.
So will you
That's all I'm saying.
apologize if after the reunion nothing comes up about Blake?
What would I be hold on?
Well,
What would I be apologizing for?
You said we need to see at the reunion how he behaves and what comes out before you can say, right? So are you willing to apologize? Are you just answer the question? Are you willing to apologize?
No, what am I apologizing for?
Apologizing for jumping. Can I finish? Apologizing for jumping on the Blake bandwagon. Apologizing.
I didn't jump on the Blake
Let me finish. Look, apologizing for cutting me off. Apologize for not giving room for the fact that Morgan was out of line for calling him a malignant cancer.
I did give room. Please run every single video, every single time I've been up here. I said then and I said now. I said if what she said is unfounded, then she needs to apologize. I actually said we need to give room for the fact that she could be wrong or she could be right. So I said the reunion is where she needs to clear that up. There is nothing I was about to get my government name for me to apologize. All I've ever said is that Blake is rude. From my perspective, from what I've seen, he cuts people off and he's short with people. No reunion is going to clear that up. That's just what I've seen. The reunion is for Morgan and Blake. Just to be clear, the reunion is for Morgan and Blake. For her to explain why she called this man a malignant cancer. That's it. It ain't for me.
And I said any lady who was saying some comments about Blake, all right. That's why I started it by saying at the very beginning, will you turn your comments around? Because even the rudeness. Okay, let's say he was rude about. You can take a little bit of that. A little bit of a cold shoulder. Cool. Okay, let's take that. But like I said before, there was a lot of comments of he's a narc. That they were agreeing with Morgan's statements, saying there must be something more behind the scenes. Even see where you said it, there must be more behind the scenes. And we're saying, wait, okay, if it gets to the reunion and there's not more behind the scenes, there should be an apology because the energy for Blake was a problem. That's what I'm saying, because it's quick to get behind a male who is a villain very quickly, even without the evidence. There was hardly any evidence on this season. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying there's been 11 episodes. We've been trying to catch his brother, but he's Roadrunner meet. You know what I mean? Every time you set a trap like Coyote, he meet through the whole situation. So either he's too smart for all of us on these cameras. You know what I mean? I wonder what's going on. So I'm saying if you weren't one of those people, fine. But there was a lot of people who had a lot of bad energy for Blake, saying he an abuser. And that's why I said, even me, I had to even say so. I took my statement back. So I said, when I first saw him, I thought he had to give me a little bit of abuser vibes. I ain't gonna lie to you. I had to take my statement back. You know what I mean? I did mine on the panel. So, if you do it on panel, then you can just say I've retracted my statement. But it's like so at the same time we can say that listen, we got it wrong. Okay, so I'm saying that for the ladies out there who are saying that, because a lot of people are saying he's one step from being an abuser, saying he's a narc, saying I can see him beating up somebody. Like there was a lot of those kind of comments, which I felt is unfair for Blake, because I think he's shown us in 11 episodes at least that if anything, if you want to say he's rude, quote unquote, one might say that. But other than that, some of the harsh energy for him was off. So we're saying the ladies, if you have to wait to reunion. Okay, wait till to reunion. But just remember, if the men then say we're going to wait to reunion and you think that's not the best way to do things, why would you follow our footsteps? That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? See, you're asking us to do something, but you won't do it yourself. That don't make no sense. But you know what? We're going to let you have it and say, listen, we're going to wait to the reunion. And if I'm wrong about reunion, me too. I'll happily say I'm wrong. I have no qualms about it. I'll come out and say, hey, guys, I was wrong. Blake was this person that we said he was. And happily do it. It's not a big deal.
I do think that, and this is why I can say I wasn't one of those people. I think that we throw around the word abusive, narc, toxic way too much, and not just on this channel, but on the internet in general, and and narcissists. I don't know if I said narcissist. I think we throw that around too loosely. And I said from the beginning, I don't think it was appropriate. And this is the great thing about this being recorded. I don't think it's appropriate to call him a narcissist. So if anybody was calling him a narcissist in the comments and they haven't really seen narcissism from him, then maybe that's something they should apologize for. I do know that his ex-girlfriend called him abusive, and there's some chatter on the internet about stuff that he's done. And, I'm not here to tell another woman about her experience. I can only talk about what I've seen. So I think we should all chill on whether it's towards a man or a woman, calling someone so freely a narcissist and these other words that, we shouldn't just freely throw around. So I haven't seen narcissistic from Blake on the Ready to Love show. I just haven't seen it. And I never said I've seen it. I think when people see these people on this show that remind them of somebody, they just start throwing out words that maybe we should be careful about. All I can say is what I've seen. I saw him being very standoffish, rude, curt, unnecessarily dismissive, condescending is what I said. And that I believe he has shown. Well, Felicia says we apologize. Y'all win. Y'all won.
It's so funny because it's really not a win. It's a shut up. It's a shut up because we tired of talking about it. And I think this is just a great social experiment on what it takes to just really get an apology. And it takes the sun, the moon, and the stars and the earth to be moved, but it is what it is. And I'm not one of those people who are unrealistic either to understand that just certain times, certain things ain't gonna happen, So we can agree to move on it, but yeah, it's not a win.
Oh, I'm petty. I wasn't gonna move on, but yeah, you know what I mean? I don't care if the money came in. I'm just saying, if you need to pivot. That's what I'm saying. I ain't gonna say it again, but I'm gonna say it again, even though I'm not gonna say it again. If you need to pivot, and you know who you are. And if you've forgotten, go back to that live that I did when I spoke about him and Janique's situation. Y'all were in the chat strong. You know exactly who you are. Don't let me dig it up. I'm petty. Don't let me dig it. I would start calling out names on next week's live. Like, you was one. We all went on all of your apologies. But no, when, as much as I'm joking, I'm also being kind of serious. And I'm saying that because men get hold to this account. I'm talking about the men on this panel. Y'all be holding us to account. And if we're wrong, you be telling us how wrong we are. And I'm saying that if you're wrong and this didn't happen, let's also be like, look, guys, put my hands up. I was wrong. My bad. We didn't get Blake right. That's what I'm asking for. A bit of that. JR, why are you smiling like that, bro?
First of all, pause. Look, so, look, we've seen behaviors on this show from some of the men on camera that has been far worse than what we've seen from Blake. All right, we've spoken about it already. All right, we've seen loss of temper, loss of composure, being petty, being devious, being manipulative, all these things, right? And everyone went with a narrative from somebody from episode 1 or 2 or whenever it was. From that point, like, their analysis of a conversation that took place off camera smeared his name throughout the rest of the show. All right. So we've seen behaviors that are cancerous, spread like a virus through the whole group. And the problem is those people who made those comments about Blake, I think they are actually on the receiving end of his personality disposition, which is, as the card reader said, and as he said himself, he doesn't open up to just anybody. He doesn't feel like he should. He feels like people need to prove that they're going to be loyal and faithful to him in some way for him to open up to them. That's just what he said, and that's what the tarot person said. So I'm not Team Blake, but what I am saying is we've seen far more problematic behaviors. Tony's one. No one said anything about him being a narc or anything like that, but I'm sure if Blake was doing that, that would be what they'd be calling him. The manipulation, the sneakiness of Lyndon doing whatever he did. If Blake was moving like that, we would call that out too. And we'd say, yeah, that's why he's a narc, right? That's what everybody would say. Fact of the matter is, like Kojo said, we've had weeks and weeks to examine this guy in the group setting and to see how he responds when people get up in his face trying to level things at him. He didn't feel like some of those ladies on the show were for him. And that rejection may have affected their inflated egos or sense of self to the point where they took it offensively and tried to slight him. All right. Now, just because he didn't find them attractive, they've gone on to make connections with other people. So, like I said last week, there's a cap for every bottle. So, look, at the end of the day, I do not expect Morgan to give an apology for anything. I think she's even going to double down. I think Janique may even pile on, and Jeffrey may even pile on even more at the reunion. If I were Blake, I probably wouldn't even turn up at the reunion, because the only person that's going to have anything nice to say about him is probably Sue-Ann. And even then, she's probably going to come under fire for defending him as well. So, yeah.
Brandy, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, now I do. I was not going to say anything about Blake, but it was just getting out of hand. So I gave Blake a hard time. The episode Morgan went off. I was cheering her on. Okay, I was. I didn't say he was narcissistic abusive. The issues I have with Blake are similar to Seaway's, of the interview style date he had with Z, where he just was drilling her question after question, wasn't giving anything. And then the uncomfortable date with Janique. Granted, Z and Janique would never be a match for Blake. So hearing about the tarot card date, which I didn't see the exclusive, and what JR said about him not wanting to open up. Okay, now that makes sense of why he comes across the way he does to some of the women. And for some reason, maybe he feels more comfortable with Sue-Ann. I don't think Cynthia has much of a problem with him. And I saw Marcia's interview with is it Crystal XO, and is that the lady's name on YouTube? Yeah. And she also didn't understand why the group had an issue with Blake. She was saying some things, and so it did cause me to look at it from another side. I'm not saying I'm about to give Blake all the apologies in the world. I'm waiting to the reunion also, because I feel like maybe we're missing something, because he does come off a certain rude way. But, you know, I'm glad he's self-eliminated. I didn't like Jeffrey's comments saying that he cowered it out or whatever she said, because if he stayed there to try to make a connection real quick with somebody else, then he would look stupid and she would say something bad about him then. So either way, he was going to lose. So, yeah, the best thing was to bow out the competition. But, yeah, I'm not ready to turn all the way from Blake. I'm waiting on the reunion also. But I don't think he's abusive or a narcissist. I heard some stuff about the baby mamas too, but you know, I don't know. I don't particularly like his attitude, but that's the only smoke I have for him.
Any other thoughts, guys? No.
I got an 8K
yes,
in the morning.
something?
I have an 8K in the morning, so I have no other thoughts.
Just think of Blake chasing you, you'll be fine. I'm sorry. I'm petty. I need to stop. I'm sorry. I apologize. That is rude. That's petty. It's not good. But no, listen. I had to wake up. So no pettiness. Oh my days. Pause. I'm so sorry, guys. I keep forgetting. I'll be saying some wild ass stuff on this panels. People going to cut this up and slip this up one day. It's like I knew he was that. But listen, audience, thank you so much. It's been fun. It's been amazing. But before I go anywhere, Sean, give us the benediction.
Absolutely. So we ended where I'll start, and it looks like, listen, the villain went home. So look, I think, he knew when to hold them and when to fold them. And I think if anything, that makes, him smart. The verdict is out. We'll wait for the reunion for our apology. I think we'll wait for eternity for an apology, but that's neither here nor there. Mercedes and Mark Anthony. Seems like, listen, when two ships align, and they could set the sails off and go in the same direction, just as long as they're not aiming, going sailing aimlessly, right? You need to have direction. So hopefully they find their direction, they find their wind patterns, and they're able to sail in and get somewhere effectively. And I think that's the ultimate goal. Is you should be aligned as a couple in a relationship, but where are you going? Are you on the same page? Do you have the same vision and a plan to match the vision? All right. So very, very important. Jeffrey and Andre. Yeah. Good luck. Tony and Morgan. I think sometimes, we've got to be able to look introspectively, right? And in relationships, when we are looking to have better outcomes, we have to look at our past. We have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to do the work to make things different. Otherwise, we will continue to do the same things over and over and again and question ourselves because we do the same thing over and over and over again with different people. But it's us that needs to do the change, right? So I think the biggest change that needs to happen in relationships is the change inside of us, because we can't change anyone else. We can only change us. So if we focus on changing us first, it's going to help you to have better relationship outcomes. When it comes to Anthony and Cynthia, I wish them well. I think for these people, for this couple, they're an example of sometimes, we're on the same page, but we're in different pages of different chapters. And I don't think their books are aligning, but that's just me and what I see. I hope, for them that they have more in common, that their pages really are aligned, and that there is true chemistry and a connection. But those things are very important, right? Sometimes people are meant to be just the best of friends. And sometimes those aren't people that we should enter into relationships with, because it's not going to get us where we want to be. So just be careful. Everybody doesn't have a glaring red flag in front of them. As much as some people do have red flags, everybody doesn't. Sometimes it's just not a genuine connection. So look for genuine connections, looking for being aligned and on the same page for relationship success. Back to you, Coach.
Back to you. Sean, you might as well sign us off. I don't know what Coach Jones is doing.
I think he's frozen.
No, he's moving.
Coach, we can't hear you. I'm done.
Sorry, I couldn't hear nothing. My bad. I was even using the YouTube, so I was even behind. My bad, guys. Can you guys hear me? Okay, so maybe it's something to do with my stream. I couldn't hear very well. But listen, thank you very much, Sean, for that. I appreciate that, because I missed the last part of what you said. But guys, listen, it's been amazing. It's been fun. We're back here tomorrow for Sunday men's panel, and we'll be discussing some important topics. I definitely want to watch Jonathan Major stuff situation, because he done let us down. Okay, that Negro done let us down.
Dr. Umar, okay? Dr. Umar would not be pleased right now, Coach.
Stop quoting him.
He let us,
please.
He let us down, bro.
Listen, hey,
Dr. Umar. Okay,
listen,
again, come on.
Listen, that was one of his variants. That was one of his variants.
No. He done put on that fedora. As soon as y'all black men put on that fedora, it's a wrap. Y'all are going downhill fast. Leave the fedora alone.
Bruh.
As soon as I see y'all with the fedora, it's going downhill, okay?
He let us down. I'm disappointed, man.
Pause.
You know
Pause.
Okay, sorry.
Proven guilty.
Pause.
Innocent until proven guilty.
You're right.
Allegedly.
It's looking bad, though. It's looking bad,
He
though.
has
It's looking
upset
bad.
Dr. Umar allegedly.
Yeah, he's looking bad. And Judge Joe Brown is also looking like he's in hot water too for speaking on something he didn't need to speak about, because he never mentioned your name, but you never but you came out real barking like, bro, we didn't mention your name, sir. Okay, so listen, we're going down a little bit bad out here, guys. Just saying, a couple of guys are going down bad. So, I'm disappointed right now. We'll discuss it tomorrow, but yeah, what are you saying, Sean? Oh, I thought someone said something. But yeah, gosh. Anyway, so sorry, it really did take a blow to me. I felt really bad as soon as I saw his name came up. I said, "Cha, you know what? I did see a little bit no jokes, but pause. Let me put that pause there because he's innocent to proven guilty, as you guys said. But listen, audience, it's been amazing. It's been great. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the men's panel, and then Monday we'll start the Lovers Blind. So I think we'll do. Is it? I don't know how many episodes are released at the moment. I think 5 has been released. Is it? If it's 5, then we can do 1 each day, and then by the time Friday comes, a whole new set of the situation drops, and then we can do another 5 next week, because I heard these episodes are a little bit crazy. So, yeah. So we're going to do that. Okay. Someone said, "Am I saying his name wrong? Is it not Majors? What is it? Mayos? What is it? Mayos?
It's Majors, Jonathan Majors.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what the scenario is, because y'all teased that.
He apparently strangled somebody.
I don't think a lot of people know.
He strangled somebody. He strangled his girlfriend. Apparently, he strangled some woman, but apparently, he's allegedly is his girlfriend who he strangled, and she has lacerations on the back of her ear, and she. Bro, it's just not looking good. It's just not looking good right now. Not saying it is, but I'm just saying it's not looking.
This is
Jonathan
Kang. Major? Oh, okay.
Kang, yeah, Kang, and I really like his stuff as well. You know Kang?
No.
Pause. Oh. Definitely sounds like a variant to me. Like one of the
y'all are overdoing this pause. Oh my god, y'all are killing me with the pause. What? I'm trying to understand what the hell is going on, and y'all pause. What the hell? What is being said?
Okay,
Jonathan
what happened is
Majors?
he put on a fedora and lost his mind. And at some point, he was in a taxi with his girlfriend, who Dr. Umar would not be happy about. Pause.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
Yes. And he ended up, apparently she saw that he was texting someone allegedly. That was another girl allegedly. And a fight broke out in a taxi or Uber. And he got to strangling, hitting, choking allegedly. And then she got dropped off at the house allegedly, and then called the police, which ain't alleged.
This is why we're missing them snow bunnies. I told him you met a little bit of coonery in the chip. This is what told us.
It's gonna show up. Whatever he did is gonna show up. It's gonna show up. And so when the police came, allegedly they saw enough markings over this lady's body, and they said, "You gonna have to come with us, because you done marked up this young lady."
So what does Judge Joe Brown have to do with all of this?
I have no idea about that.
He had a mad thing situation with Cheryl.
I thought Jones? She said it wasn't him, though. I thought she said
no. She didn't say any names, and he came out barking like a dog, and came out saying that this is defamation. I think some people linked it to him, and he started barking like a dog. But he should just keep his mouth shut, because if it ain't you, it ain't you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never gonna talk up and be like, it's me. I'm like, it ain't me. And he said, I'm gonna sue for defamation. Sir, you're sounding real guilty right now. Keep your mouth shut.
So this clarity was for me and for some of us in the audience, because I was totally confused. There was like 3 topics happening at the same time. So thank you both for the clarity.
You're not that late. It broke like a couple of hours ago, like 3 or 4 hours ago. It's on the Shade Room and in TMZ, which is unfortunate because I saw Creed today. I'm late, but I just saw it, and that's.
Oh, they're saying she said it wasn't Judge Mathis. Oh, she said it wasn't Judge Mathis. Okay.
Yeah, but Judge Joe Brown came out, and he came out and said what he said, and then he didn't need to say anything, and he said what he said. So, if you like that, but so I didn't know it was a snow bunny. That's important information. Because you know how this thing works. Just saying. I'm not saying he ain't crazy, but I'm just saying you know how this can
Yeah,
work too.
they've been at Jonathan Majors for dating women of another color for quite some time. So I'm not surprised at that part.
Well, Dr. Uma's gonna tell him to learn his lesson. Okay, a little bit of coonery in the chip gonna make you're gonna learn your lesson. Okay, Dr. Uma gonna be on his
Why are
lesson.
we invoking that guy's presence? Please.
I like
the
Dr.
lesson will
Uma
not be.
because the lesson. You
lesson
know what?
will
Because
not
he's
be
got a point. He's got a point. Okay, he's got a point. Okay, but maybe that's a conversation.
At the end of the day, different levels, different devils, and people have to realize, like, when you're in Creed 3 and you're doing, you know, Marvel and stuff, the devil is gonna attack you different. You gotta watch the way you're moving.
That's very
regardless. True. On top of the fact that you with people
that notorious,
right?
Yes,
right.
You can't
know
be
what
playing
I'm
that
saying?
lane.
So, because a lot of people that you would really, you know, would even though you're wrong, would hesitate to call the police on you. But however, if you really did put your hands on this woman like that and she's all marked up,
yep,
regardless of what Dr. Umar would say, you done effed up.
Yep.
You done effed up. And if you in Creed 3 and you don't know how to keep your hands and feet inside the car in the cart, well then you need to go to timeout. You need to go to timeout, because a lot of times if there wasn't any markings, then it would be he say, she say. But if he doesn't mark that girl up, allegedly, supposedly, you know, he's going to be in trouble.
Wow, you know, this is
the
biggest issue. You're gonna have to figure that out, because that's some stuff that you don't want to be having on your name, bro. You know what I mean? But then knowing Hollywood, you know what I mean, he might get cancelled, but his counterpart Ezra Mills is still there somehow, some way, because they don't really care about this stuff. But yeah, he gonna F around and find out. So I hope that they can clear his name if he is innocent, and if he's guilty, well, brother, the consequences are the consequences, and I can't say anything for that. I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you get away with something that you actually did. Do you know what I'm saying? If you know what you did, you did. But I don't know. You know, it's a bit of a wild thing.
If he did it in a taxi, this ain't the first time. This ain't the first time.
If he did it in a taxi,
then this is not the first time. So he needs to have a seat and meditate and heal.
Let's hope he didn't do anything.
This is crazy.
I need my Kang Dynasty film, so I need you to you not have done nothing, so okay. All right, I was just getting used to seeing a black villain, okay, and now you turn into a real ass villain. This ain't it, sir. This ain't it. You don't take your role too damn seriously. I need you to put yourself back into the roles that you were doing, keeping it there, nothing else. But if you are committing DV, you got to go to prayers, and you know what? You got to go to prayers, and you can't be putting your hands on nobody, bro. Do you know what I mean? Especially not your partner. That's wild. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see, and we'll have to wait for the results of what's happening. You know what I mean? But the Twitter streets are ablaze about this topic as well. So, yeah. Any other thoughts on that before we click off? No,
except I had just said that he was playing that post-prison role really well.
Too good.
And then I looked at my phone and I saw this and I was like, you got to be effing kidding me. I literally just walked out the theater and I said, man, he really channeled this just got out of prison role. Seriously. He clearly is still in that. Prayers for him and prayers for her, because they both gonna need it. So
yeah, we'll have to wait and see. It's tight. Ooh, okay. Well, guys, we're gonna love you. We're gonna leave you, and we appreciate y'all. And listen, don't do anything you shouldn't do out there. Okay, all right. Behave yourselves. Stay strapped up. Pause. Okay, just because these guys will be tending to on my neck for everything. But stay strapped up. Pause again. In fact, the pause needs a pause, so I'm a pause on the pause, okay? But we appreciate you guys, and oh yes, I didn't. You're right, I didn't do one of the questions. So let me do the question. You know, let me give my. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's on the end of the season. It's on $15, so we're on $15 so far. So you know, end of the season question will be $15.
Whoa, you had to come up, bro. Look at that.
People added to the pot. No. People added to the pot. Okay, they added to the pot. Okay.
A win is a win.
And continue added to the pot. A win is a win.
I put a question in the chat if you don't have one, Kojo.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. I don't even know the answer to that. Wow. What was I watching? I don't even know the answer to that. But that's a good question. In the two truths and a lie. Okay. Do I mention a name? Yeah, I have to mention a name. What was Mercedes' lie in her two truths and a lie question? I guess, or answer, I should say even. What was Mercedes' lie in the two truths, one lie? What was her answer that she gave? Oh, looks like somebody came up first. Haitian Empress. Haitian Empress, you were the fast ace. Okay, you were the fast ace. Now you have an option. Okay, you have an option here. You can keep the $5 for yourself and buy some nice little coffee, which you won't afford because the coffees are more expensive in America than it is. No. 15 is for the end of the season. This is a separate 5. And so, so you have the option, Haitian, to add it to the pot or take it home. Oh, she's already said it herself. She's adding it to the pot. We are now on $20 for the end of the pot, people. Okay, for the end of this particular season. Listen, it's getting interesting. So we like it. You know what I mean? We like it. We like to see where it's going. And you know what? I might even be generous, and you know, that end of that pot, I might even do double or quits. You know what I mean? Yeah. See that? Yeah. I'm feeling energy. Okay. All right. Someone's about to be rich today. Well, at the end of the season anyway. But anyway, listen, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you click on your bell button and make sure you click on that all as well on it. And we're gonna see you again tomorrow. And we'll see you soon. Some of these comments are wild up in this section. I'm telling you, they don't need to be seen by Disney because boy, they ain't gonna make no comeback. Let's play the kid from me out.
You know what I mean? I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
This has been real quiet over there. I don't know what's going on, but his volume has dropped. Is it just me? It feels like it's very quiet, isn't it? Some days he just be coming and being all quiet. Denzel, I need you to raise the volume in here. What are you doing, bro? You know, but you know who I can trust, whose volume never changes? This young lady.
Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
Have you noticed the slap never gets quieter? That woman's consistent without anything. Technology can't stop her. Okay, we appreciate you, Anala. All right, yeah. Audience, we'll see you again very, very soon. Much love and appreciation. We'll see you tomorrow for men's panel. We'll tell you the topic on the Sunday because I can't remember what the topic is, but I'm sure we'll come up with a few ideas and some stuff that are probably going to cause some trouble as well. So I think I sent you guys actually something in it. That's going to cause so much trouble if we talk about that. But we'll see you guys on Sunday, guys. All right, okay. Stay blessed, stay locked, stay loaded. We'll see you again very soon. Much love. Bye bye. Ciao.